Who drank my goddamn apple juice? Who drank my goddamn
coffee?
Hey, you're now listening to Coffee and Apple Juice, a podcast.
I usually listen to it when I'm on my way to work.
Real, raw, and uncut conversations with Aisha Hadiya.
So what's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Apple Juice, the podcast. I am your lovely host, Aisha Hadiya, and tonight I definitely have a guest with me, Miss June Jackson. I really don't feel comfortable saying your last name because everybody might not need to know who you are. But June is a lovely friend of mine. We used to work together. So before we jump into tonight's episode, I'm definitely going to give her a chance to tell you guys a little bit more about her, and hopefully we'll be seeing her on the show more often. Hey,
hi guys. Again, like she said, my name is June. I don't care about the last name, it doesn't matter. But again, my name is June. Like she said, we worked together previously. Let me see about myself. I'm kind of a stay-at-home person, so I don't have a lot of interesting things going on in my life. I do have a new baby. Well, she's kind of new. She's 7 months old. I still work in human resources. I've been in human resources for seven or 8 years now. Okay. And I work from home so that I don't have to pay for childcare.
How is that working from home? Like, besides the not having to pay for childcare, like, do it get boring? Do you enjoy it? Like,
so before I had her, I enjoyed it. I was like, I could do whatever I want. Like, I could take my laptop with me to the nail salon to beat the crowd. You know, before Friday come, I go like Wednesday morning or something like that, just to beat the crowd. But I love it. You have the flexibility to kind of do, and especially since I'm not on, I do take a couple calls, but I'm not on the phones constantly like a lot of work from home jobs. So I absolutely love being.
I'm definitely looking to try to find me some home at home, because I work third shift, so I don't get off till 9-10 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And I want to get to a point, I want to change my schedule so that I can be here to get my kids situated for school, get them on the school bus. If they miss the bus, I can shoot them to school real quick. But it's like when I'm at work, they have to wait till I get off in order for me to get them to school if they miss the bus. So those were some issues that we dealt with last year, and I don't want to have to deal with those same issues this year. So I'm in the process of trying to get my schedule changed. But until I do so, I'm also looking for other, avenues of income. And I'm really considering the stay at home or the work from home situation, just because of the flexibility that it gives you. Now, when me and June first met, I was massaging. I don't massage anymore.
Really?
I hung up my license. Like, I still keep my license renewed, but I closed my office back in 2020. So at the beginning of COVID, that's when I kind of I think I shut my office down that summer. So the first COVID hit like the winter of 2019. I closed my office the summer of 2020. The restrictions that they had us under was just detrimental to my business. Majority of my clientele was senior citizens, so they were already scared to come out the house. They definitely wasn't finna come and let me massage on them. So I ended up closing down my office and started working where I'm at now. And I enjoy what I do now because I'm not so closed in. And I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of stayed away from the work from home, because I don't want to just be confined to one room all day.
That's what I was getting ready to say. The only negative thing I would say is everything flows together, like your home life and your work life. There's no separation. You know, you get up, you go to work, you leave work at work. Sometimes I'm like, dang, I forgot to do this. Let me come back to my computer, or I'm working late, or my lunch breaks, I'm feeding the baby, stuff like that. So it's not a real lunch break as if I was in an office or something like that. So It does run together, but I feel like it has more benefits for me than negative aspects. I love it. I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to an office.
Okay.
honestly, or for a long time anyway.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Now you just had a new baby. Your baby is 7 months now. This is your first child. You and your boyfriend, this is y'all's first child. What have been some of your highs and lows of parenting?
Oh gosh. Adjusting to the sleep schedule. I breastfeed, so breastfed babies are really attached to their mothers. Like if you
Mhm.
ever see those videos on like TikTok or YouTube where they're like trying to pull the child away and they're like pulling at their hair, that's exactly what it's like to breastfeed a child. They want to be on top of you 24/7. I mean, even the hardest thing for me right now is her sleep schedule. And that's because when she stays with her grandmothers, she sleeps through the night. She might wake up once or twice. They're like, oh, she woke up once or twice with me. But with me, we are up every like at least 4 or 5 times a night because she wants to nurse.
Mhm.
So that's the hardest thing for me. Everything else came natural, so to speak. All the other parenting stuff and all this stuff. So I think for me anyway, it was an adjustment, like not being able to get up and go like I want to because I love to travel. So having to like say, I can't go. I'm breastfeeding and then she's too young. So I took my first trip back in July since she was born for my boyfriend's birthday. We went to Vegas. And I was like, ooh, breastfeeding and having to like take the pump on the go, pump in the airport.
Oh, you took
Pack
her with you. Y'all took her with you.
no, we didn't take her. We left her, but I still had to pump
Oh,
when
but
I was
okay. Yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah. Got you. I got
So
okay.
pumping at the airport, pumping in the room, like coming back from the day parties to pump, bagging up the milk, like putting ice in a cooler, trying to get all that stuff through. It wasn't a hassle, but it was a little inconvenient. So when she turns 1, I'll be glad we're done with that. But that's the only thing. I love being a mom. Um, and I love my village. I'm thankful for them. They give me
Oh,
mommy.
okay. That's what's up. So I'm happy that you're a mom now. Welcome to the club. Um,
I'm late, a little later than everybody else.
listen, you are not like I try to tell like when I meet people who don't have kids and we get on a conversation about parenting or kids or anything like that, I try to encourage people to live your life first and
Mhm.
then decide to settle down and have kids. Like I started having kids at an early age and I don't regret my children. I just wish I would have gotten a lot of things done first,
Yeah.
because I feel like trying to be who I am and trying to be successful and things of that nature. And then at the same time, trying to be a mother and parenting, like it
Mhm.
clashes together. And eventually you do have to make a lot of sacrifices for one to be successful. Not saying that they won't both be, but I just feel like I could have been further along in life and more prepared for children had I waited and just focused on, the goal or whatever. But
Yeah.
I love my kids. I don't regret them. I do regret how young I was when I had them. I had my first child at 18. I was graduated from high school, but because I'm a new mom, I wasn't even thinking about college. I'm thinking about trying to get this rent paid because now I'm having my own apartment. I got to make sure my daughter has what she needs, childcare, things of that nature.
Mhm.
So I was just all over the place at a young age with my baby. And I just wish that if I could turn back the hands of time, I wouldn't change anything. I would just more so change the age, change my age that I was at when I started having kids. Like instead of having a child at 18, I probably wouldn't have had my first child till I was like 30 or 35.
Yeah. I am.
Bless
Ooh,
you.
excuse me. Okay. I am 29 now. You know how you forget your age sometimes.
Mhm.
So I'm 29. I had her when I was 28. Yeah. Yeah, 28. When I had her. So just earlier this year, then I turned 29. So I'm glad I waited a little longer
Mhm.
because I have friends like you and my closer friends to tell me, what to do, what works with parenting. This is the
Mhm.
phases they're gonna go through. And especially when it comes to like postpartum and getting
Oh
out the
God.
house, my friends are very they're on me. I'm like, no, I don't want to go out. And they're like, oh no, we're going out, we're going to do this. So I don't have time to sit and sulk about stuff. My mom's calling me every day because I waited, kind of till everybody else had kids and they went through those experiences. So they're helping me to not go through the negative experiences of motherhood. So I am so grateful for that, waiting and then waiting until I was in a place to financially do what I want for my child. Like she's 7 months, she's in swim classes now. If I would have had her younger, I probably wouldn't have been able to do stuff like that for her.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't even think that I would have wanted my kids to be in swim classes at 7 months. That's just scary for me, only because of my fear for water. But
I get in there with her. So it's not her and the instructor. I get in there and I'm doing it with her. So I'm holding her and doing the stuff with her. So it's a little scary, but it's no scarier than taking them to the pool, like when they're that age and you take them and put them in a little floaty or something like that.
Taking my kids to the pool is the most stressful situation. Like, it's not as stressful. So my you have that one child who swear they can swim and then but can't swim worth a damn, girl. And so my oldest son, he was that kid at one point. Now he's 6 foot and some change now. So the deepest the water is at our local pool is 6 feet. So he can get it 6 feet now and stand up and not drown. So that's stress off of my shoulders. But like years before, oh mama, why you won't let me go and swim at 6 feet? And I'm like, bro, you can't swim. You can't swim. Stop playing with me. But so it's like now the stress has eased up a little bit because now he's tall enough to stand in 6 feet. I don't have to necessarily worry about him, quote unquote, drowning. Now, of course, I know that there's ways he can still drown, but right now he can stand up. And his head is above the water. So I'm, the stress isn't there. Now, my youngest son, he know his limit. He know that if he can't stand up over the water, he not fucking with it. But my oldest, he swore he can swim for a long time. But even the lifeguards was like, bro, you're not getting in 6 feet because you can't swim. You take 2 strokes and now you're standing up in 4 feet because you don't know how to swim. But whatever the case may be, me and water and my kids, me with my kids in water is just stressful.
And a lot of Black moms are like that. Even my mom, she's like, no, I don't want y'all to go swimming. It was stressful. And that's why I made it a point to put her in swim class. I was like, I'm going to put her in swim because we didn't get that opportunity. I feel like our generation, the generation before, our parents were scared to put us in water. So I don't want her. And I like when I go, I can only swim like a little bit.
I'm a doggy paddle to the fuck I get to some land.
I can so like when I go places, I'm like snorkeling in the ocean, but I got my life jacket on, but I can like swim or whatever. In that case, I mean, I know people who jump out there without it. That's not me. I'm not that person. I know my limits, but I want her to be able to do that one day. Like, oh my God, this Black girl can swim. You see the celebrities who took the swim classes at 30 and jumping off the yachts. I want her to jump off her yacht one day. So that was important to me. One of those.
Yeah, I'm at that point in my life. So I'm trying not to be that mom who's just keeping her kids bottled up in the house because she's scared of everything. So like we were supposed to do swim lessons this summer, but honey, I was outside this summer. I wasn't going back and forth to those swim classes. But next summer I already have it set up where they will be in swim lessons because even though my oldest daughter, she knows how to swim a little bit, but I'm not comfortable with knowing how to swim a little bit. I need to know how to swim. So like you said, you can jump off your own yacht one day and not be fearful of, anything else. So I got it set up where we're doing swim lessons next summer. Of course, we have the sports. The boys, they got basketball tryouts on the 1st. So, I'm trying to unlearn and relearn a lot of the parenting habits and techniques that I learned from my own mom. And then I'm a single mom at that. So of course I'm making all the decisions by myself. It can be a little stressful, but thank God you do have a village for you.
Easier.
No, it is not.
I think because when you make a decision, it's like That's it. I made the decision.
So when it comes to being a single parent, it's not all about just the decisions.
I'm saying from a decision standpoint, but everything else, I understand. Yeah. I know a lot of people who, before I had my baby, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm married, but I'm still a single mom," and I'm like, "You are not a single mom," but now I know, I know how they feel and what they mean.
So I think the one thing that I hate about being a single mom is I'm the good guy and the bad guy. So I can reward you when you're doing good, but when you're doing bad, I have to punish you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas in a 2-parent household, one parent can punish the other parent. You know what I'm saying? Like you can kind of flip flop, but I'm the good guy and the bad guy always. You know, so those are the struggles and some of the consequences that I deal with as far as parenting and having to parent by myself. But nonetheless, congratulations on your baby. I wish you and your boyfriend the much success. When it comes to parenting, it is not going to be an easy job, but it's definitely going to be worth it.
It is. I tell people
it's going to be worth it.
Thank you.
So I sent you a video that I have like 5 topics when it comes to my podcast that I want to just have the conversation and be done with it forever. I don't ever want to have this conversation ever again. And if anybody know my list of 5, y'all know that child support is one of these topics. I hate talking about child support because there's this side and there's this side. And what I mean about that is you have the child support from the mom's point of view, from the single mom, from the mom's point of view, and then you have child support from the dad's point of view. So nobody is ever going to agree with child support. Nobody is ever going to come to this common ground. We just never going to see eye to eye when it comes to child support. But nonetheless, we're going to have this conversation tonight and then we're just going to be done with it. I don't want to talk about child support ever again. I don't want to have this conversation ever again.
This is the shit I got to go through. It's like I got to choose between my child and my marriage. And the shit getting old. It's getting very old and frustrating.
Between your child and your marriage, what is you doing? I mean, like, what's going on?
I'm recording, man.
No, I ain't no recording because you ain't dropping that shit. I don't give a damn about no Facebook, no YouTube, or nothing. No. And I don't care nothing about that. Because my thing is right here. You pay $500 a month. You can drop it. I'm going to put your business out there. You pay $500 fucking dollars a month in child support, and ain't nobody but doing no extra. No shoes, no clothes, no toys, no nothing. Fuck all that.
What you talking about, man? My son needs some shoes.
I don't give a damn. No, she can get the shoes out of child support money. She get the shoes out of child support money. That's what you pay child support for. The court ordered child support. You ain't got to do shit else. And she ain't gifting nothing else. She should have never took the fucking child support out if she needed more money.
You shouldn't feel like that, though, man.
Why shouldn't I feel like that?
That's my fucking child.
I don't fuck that child. Fuck you too. I don't give a damn about that. Shoes. Come on, to get some extra shoes and you pay $500 fucking dollars a month in child support. You ain't buying no shoes. You ain't buying no fucking shoes. You buy shoes. You buy them shoes. You buy them shoes. That's it.
That's it, man.
That's it. I'm telling you. You pay child support. What you paying the child support is for?
I'm saying, still though. If you need some shoes, I'm gonna get the shoes.
No, you ain't getting no shoes out of here. You ain't. It don't matter. It does not matter. No, you don't need to buy no shoes. She get the shoes out of child support money. $500 a month. That's what y'all agreed on.
I know, but shit, okay. I agreed on the hell. If I feel like giving some shoes, I can get some fucking shoes.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. You want to get some shoes? You can get some shoes, but it won't be in here. It won't be in here. Believe that, baby. It won't be in here.
If you in a situation, you want me to give you some shoes? What the fuck is you doing?
Get your ass up out of here. I'm getting your ass up out of here. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting your ass. You want to buy some shoes? You want to buy some shoes? It won't be in here. I'm getting you up out of here. Get you up out of here.
Playing, man.
No,
No, what's that, man? Come on,
no, ain't no put no. No, you want to get shoes? You want to get shoes?
Really? Man, this is bullshit.
Oh no, we getting your ass up out of here. Yeah, we getting you up out of here. Fuck that. You won't get no shoes in here. You can get some shoes, but it won't be in here. It won't. Watch.
I tell you what, man. Don't let my daughter get gone. I'm about to damn with you.
Look here.
You tripping all over some fucking shoes, man. Oh, it's the shoes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's bullshit.
Ain't no bullshit. Fuck you,
Bullshit.
the child, and the mama. Fuck all y'all. And guess what? You want to get shoes, you got that big. Matter of fact, why her husband can't buy him no shoes?
That ain't his fucking responsibility.
It is his responsibility. He married. If he married her, he take on the child too. Why he can't buy him no shoes? That's what I don't understand. He probably calling him daddy anyway.
But in this video, this guy is telling us that he pays $500 a month in child support. And from what I've gathered, it's just one child. He pays $500 a month for one child.
For a son, I believe it was.
Or son. And his baby mama, who is married to somebody else, his baby mom wants him to buy the kid a pair of shoes outside of the $500 in child support he already paid. Now he is married and his wife is extremely upset in this video. No, you're not finna buy a pair of shoes. You just not doing it. You already paid child support. The baby mama wanted child support. She get child support. You're not finna spend no more money on this kid. And she also gets to the point where she was like, fuck that child and fuck you too. And that's where I was like, okay, now listen here, bitch.
Yeah.
You pushing it.
Yeah.
You know. But in the video, you can see her getting so upset that she gets to the point where she packs up his clothes. Like she pulls out a suitcase, she starts taking his clothes out of the drawers. And she's like, no, I'm not having it. You're gonna buy that child some shoes, or we're not gonna be together no more, basically. So let's go ahead and have this conversation. Let's go ahead and base it off of this situation that we've seen all over social media the past couple of days. And then let's just be done with the whole child support conversation. So you have a new baby. Now let's hope and pray that you never have to have this conversation. But what are your views on child support?
So I feel like if he is providing, and so there's two things I feel about child support. If he's providing and doing the best that he can, and you know he's in a situation where he can only give you so much without living beneath his means, he's not able, child support is putting him behind on rent, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If he's paying you or giving you money for school supplies, diapers, whatever the case is, he's doing what he can when you call and you need something. I feel like there's no need to put him on child support.
Right.
However, there's also those who claim they did something and they bought a pair of shoes 2 years ago and the kid's supposed to still be able to fit those shoes. So what happened to him? So in those situations, I definitely agree that some men do need to be put on child support so that mothers can provide for their kids, because child support, I feel like people think, oh, it goes to their clothes, it goes to their shoes. No, I have to pay an extra $200 for this child to have a room for rent. That goes towards their rent, So it's not just about the necessities, it's about their basic needs like housing, things like that. So I look at that kind of stuff. They eat a lot.
Grow like grass when in the springtime. They
Exactly.
I know you said that it wasn't about just shoes and clothes, and it's not. But so everybody already know how I feel about child support. The purpose of child support is to financially support the child. And whatever parent is paying it is 9 times out of 10 is the parent that is not in the household. Okay. Can we stop making like child support is this gun used to shoot down our Black men? That is not the case. Now, before I go any further, yes, we have women who are spiteful and put their baby fathers on child support because he no longer wants to be with her. I apologize to those men that they have to deal with that, which is another reason why I say, don't be in no rush to have no kids. Don't be in no rush.
Wrap it up. Do what you were doing.
To know these people y'all choosing to have children with. Okay. But yeah, so everybody already know my views and opinions on child support. I'm comfortable with telling personal situations. Yes, I do have a baby father on child support. He don't pay it, but whatever the case may be, the agreement was pick my son up every Friday, drop him off every Sunday, keep his haircut, and provide shoes and clothes. There would be no child support, no courts involved if you was able to keep up with that deal. Months went by, he was not able to keep up with that deal. So yes, you're on child support now. Do I prefer child support? No, I don't want to have nobody make you take care of a kid that you wanted.
Exactly.
I don't want to have nobody taking your license, garnishing your wages, taking warrants out on you because you are not doing or you're not taking care of your responsibility. I'm not that type of woman. I don't want that for you. But at the same time, I got pregnant. You never stated you did not want this child. That means we were both in a contract agreement to take care of this child financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of the leaves. We agreed to that. I'm holding up my part. Now I need you to do your part. You don't want to do your part? Okay, fine. That's where child support comes into play. Child support basically makes you do your part financially. So in this particular video, the question was asked, what are your thoughts? My thoughts is this. It's because of the community and the upbringing that I've come from, it's very rare that you have a man that's actually paying his child support and is doing more than what he is required. That is extremely rare in my neighborhood, right? So on one side, it's like all he doing is buying a pair of shoes. Let that black man provide for his son and buy his son a pair of shoes, even though he already paid child support. That's on one side. But then on the other side, I'm like, but you just gave her $500 in child support. Why she can't buy shoes with the $500?
Exactly. So that's where I'm like, okay, so what's she doing with the child support money? You don't want to ask that question, but sometimes you have to ask that question, like, so are you paying your rent with the child support money, or are you when the child so exactly. So what are you doing with the child support money? Can you buy the shoes? Because I get it. I get both sides, like you said. So if I was his wife, like, okay, you just pay her $500, we behind on our car note, or I can't go get my new purse I want. But you're trying to buy shoes or 100, or how much are shoes now for kids? Like 100.
Girl, it depends on the age, because my oldest son, his shoes can run $200 to $250, depending on the ones he decides.
So let's say he wants the Jordans that just came out, or whatever the case is, 200 to 250, and you just pay her $500. So now I can't get what I want because you got to spit out an extra $200. Yep. So I understand being mad. Now her going as far as disrespecting the child, fuck you, fuck the
packing up his clothes.
Yeah, so that was a little much. I feel like they need to work on communication, but that's a whole nother thing. But
right.
As far as on the other side, I feel like the mom, if she has a husband in the house,
she has a husband
in the house, like, how are they spending that child support? Because most people count it as their income and they just put it in, their bank, and it goes towards bills, and it don't go directly towards what the child needs, other than like the basic necessities, the living and food occasionally, or whatever the case is. So I feel like she had her reasons to act like that, but she overreacted.
She did overreact, but she made some valid points, like she said, your baby mama married, so why her husband can't buy your son no shoes? And that's when her husband stated, because that's my son. And she goes, right, but when he married your baby mama, he took on the responsibility of your son just as much as your son is yours. He's his too. And that was a valid point. When you get married to someone with children, a part of your vows is to love and honor and protect and serve and things of that nature to everybody involved in the relationship. Any man who gets in a relationship with me, he knows that I come with children. So my children are just as much as your responsibility as they are mine, regardless of what their fathers are doing for them, you know? So I'm on both sides of the fence with this situation because I feel like as a father, let him provide for his son. But I need you to make sure that our home is taken care of first. Your baby mama needs to understand that her husband, that's your child's stepdaddy. So he can step in and play his role as stepdaddy too.
But you know, men have this ego. I don't want somebody else taking care of my child. I can provide for my child, especially if the relationship with the significant or the co-parent is rocky, or, you know, one person didn't want to let go and they don't like this person and they have all this back drama even after years pass. So it could, men have their male egos. I learned the hard way. So certain people don't want, you know, I don't want him buying shoes, or that's my, like he said, that's my son. So I'm supposed to be able to do this for him. And then if, for instance, the husband does say, you know what, don't worry about it, I'm gonna go buy the shoes. Now he's gonna feel belittled, or that's gonna mess with his ego because damn, I couldn't provide for my son to get him this pair of shoes, but this other man could, even though it's his stepdad.
See, when it comes, I feel like when it comes to co-parenting relationships, that whole ego, like that's a situation that we need to kind of take egos, emotions, all of that out of the picture. I'm not with you no more. I'm with him now. When you wherever you come up slipping, he gonna step in, but he also gonna do what he's gonna do on the side as well. You know, so I feel like if you're not doing it and somebody else doing it, your ego shouldn't be bothered at all. You know, like, I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'm just at a point where I co-parent healthy. I'm not gonna argue with nobody or none of that.
Ways though. So some
it do.
Some people can co-parent healthy. So you might be co-parenting healthy, but anytime you get in a relationship, your baby daddy might be seeing some sly stuff on the side, like your nigga ain't did this or he ain't did that type of thing. So he not doing it the right way, but you doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. So I feel like there are a lot of dynamics that go into it. Like,
this is a double-edged sword situation. It really is. And then I really feel like the wife has a lot of, she still got issues with, it's some issues between her and the baby mama, because she was just entirely too upset regarding this situation.
I feel like it might have happened more than once. Like he might have paid child support and she asked for something else on the top. And before they got married, he probably was doing it and didn't have an issue with, you know, providing additional for his son. I'm not in the house with him. I don't see him that often. The least I could do is, you know, take him to McDonald's or send him, pay for his school clothes or whatever the case, whatever it is she was asking him to do. So I feel like he probably was doing that before he got married. And that's something they didn't discuss in their marriage. And it just came to a head. So I feel like she was wrong. She did have some valid points. Because what are you doing with the $500? You could take that and buy the shoes.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing with the $500?
Like I'm not, depending on the age of the child, but even still, $500 a month for one child, I'm not gonna sit here and make like I can't make nothing shake with $500, because $500 can buy shoes, clothes, haircut, and a little bit of pocket change, and that's just for the child. Okay. You can get food stamps and Medicaid, like there's different types of programs out here that can help with everything else, but $500 for one child, even with the increase in I feel like that's enough, depending on the age of the child. Let's put that out there.
Depending on the
age of the child, I feel like $500 is enough, depending on the age.
Because think about your child. I'll think about it as my child living in a household with me. How much money would I spend on my child in a month? $500 is extreme. to
I don't
spend
even spend $500 a month on my
on one
kids.
child. Exactly, on one child. $500 a month is extreme to spend on one child. But
Mhm.
depending on, so they, when they
Base
do
child
the
support on your
whole,
lifestyle.
exactly. So what type of apartment or house you live in, what they take a whole bunch of stuff into account. So the only other thing other than food, which I feel like both people should provide for the child, is that house situation, because now rent has gone up. So even mortgages, if I have a child, I might have to get an extra bedroom. Instead of getting a 1 bedroom, I gotta pay another $300, $400 for a 2 bedroom. It's my child too, but that money that you're using is gonna help. So I could see using the money for like rent or something like that, but you would still have extra to pay for, especially if it's a smaller child. If they hit like, I don't know, kids get expensive around like 13 these days, probably
Girl,
before.
11. If he got a video game habit, if he have extracurricular
Oh, Roblox. I
activity,
forget about that stuff.
basketball, football, soccer, the debate team, like there are other things that require financial assistance for the child. Like I got my sons do basketball. Now luckily for us, we don't have to pay for uniforms, but the travel back and forth to the games, regardless of what, mama is at every basketball game, unless I just really can't make it. But for the most part, I'm at every basketball game. Anytime my kids decide they want to try out for something, knowing damn well they can't do it. My daughter tried out for basketball. She knew damn well she wasn't a basketball player, but it didn't matter. Mama was at every basketball game. I was leaving work to go to her games and then coming back to work. There might have been 1 or 2 games I couldn't make it to, but for the most part, I am at every extracurricular activity that my kids
Mother's
want to
gonna
be a
make it
part
work.
of.
Moms are gonna make it work.
Yeah, most definitely.
Moms make it work.
We
Dads,
definitely will find a way, or at least I will. I can't speak for everybody else because we know there are some out there, but for the most
yeah,
part, yes, we will definitely make a way.
yeah, we make it work. We make it work. I don't see, I think $500 would have got those shoes, but I could see, like you said, both perspectives. That was extreme. When I saw the video, I was like, dang, she packing his stuff up.
Yeah,
She
that
going.
now that part was just like, okay, ma'am,
I was
no,
like, you can't put the man out because he want to buy shoes for his son now.
yeah. At the end of the day, I feel like child support is always going to be a touchy subject because depending on who you're talking to, everybody have their own definition of it. You know,
Exactly.
regardless of what the child support money is spent on, if the child is taken care of, that's the main objective. The child must be taken care of. So like a lot of guys, depending on who you're asking and who you're talking to, they don't want to pay child support because she's gonna spend it on her hair, her nails, and her clothes or whatever. But what they failed to realize was her check that she got last week, she had to make sure the child had everything that he needed last week. So when the child support money came in, that was more so money for her to reimburse herself with because she had
Exactly.
spent, so it's like regardless of what this specific child support money is spent on, as long as the child has what they need, what difference do it make? You know.
Exactly.
So this, like I said, this is one of those topics that I definitely just kind of want to let's have the conversation, let's get all the views out, and then let's be done with it because it can get real ignorant with some people because they view child support as this, they view child support as that. Now, I get the whole not wanting to put the government in our business. I get that argument. I listen, fellas,
They
I
usually say
get
that when
it.
they don't want to pay child support.
It's the ones that don't pay their child support that
Yeah.
usually want to bring that
Yeah.
into it. Trust me, I get it. But at the same time, we have a kid. We wanted this kid. Now we have to financially, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually provide for this child. I got my half. Now I need your half.
Men don't see, that's what I was saying earlier about the whole single mom thing. When I used to hear women say, I'm married, but I'm still a single mom. Or I had a cousin tell me before I had kids, I was like, I want to be married or in a long-term relationship. Well, I wanted to be married when I had my baby. I was like, I want to be married when I have my baby or whatever the case is, two-parent household, blah, 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 what everybody wants. So when they start thinking about having kids at first. So she was like, well, that don't matter. Just have them when you get ready. So 7 months in, I understand now what she's saying, because having somebody here helps, but he probably does 10% of what I do. So when people are like, oh, I could do this by myself. And that's why so many relationships, like I never understood that once a child comes into the relationship ends. And it's just like, well, I could do this by myself. I was doing it to like keep us together, but I could do this by myself. He does a lot more than most dads. Not saying he doesn't do anything, but I understand when people say you have that help, but you still feel like a lot of times you waking up by yourself when the baby's sick. They're there, but he's asleep.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
I just thought about this when you said this. I feel like a lot of relationships end once a child is brought into the picture, because the love and attention is being directed all to the child. And I remember seeing a post where the lady was saying, your husband is should be the priority.
Mm-hmm.
And what she meant by that was, she was never saying put your kids on the back burner and neglect your kids. No, none of that. What she was saying was the love that you have for your spouse, your partner, your husband before the child got there, you need to keep that same amount and same level of love while the child is there. I can't speak for all relationships and all situations. This don't even apply to my situation, but in my opinion, I feel like a lot of relationships end when a child comes into the picture, because the love and the attention and the affection that was given to the spouse or the partner is now directed to the child, and it's not evenly distributed to where that love and attention is still given to the spouse. So a lot of times the relationship is breaking up because you're not showing me the love that you used to show me. Not saying that I'm in competition with our kid. I love our kid, and I want the best for our kid, but don't neglect me in the same sentence. You see what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. So I can speak from my situation. So I have a daughter, and you know how men are with their daughters. That's their baby girl. So my boyfriend was affectionate towards me every now and then, just when he was like drinking. He's not a super affectionate person like all the time. Like lovey-dovey, cuddle. He has his ways, and you have to learn everybody don't love the same. So when she came and she's here, he's super affectionate with her. So like you said, she's getting all that attention and that love. And I know that he loves me he loves her more, obviously, that's his child, but he loves me just as much as he loves her, but he just shows it differently. So he still have to take time to like step back and go out, do date nights, or when we have family in town, that type of stuff. But he's super affectionate with her. So I definitely understand when people say the child gets a lot more attention, but that child, depending on whether it's a boy or girl, moms with their sons, dads with their daughters, depends on how it's going to play out in your relationship. And I see a lot of situations where the families stay together and the moms are resentful towards the daughters because of the relationship she has with her father. And they're jealous of that, just not realizing that he loves you too, but this is the child, his priority. So I understand exactly what you're saying. That's why relationships end, because I can't relate, but I can understand.
Yeah. I definitely Yeah, like I said, those that is my views and opinion when it comes to why a lot of relationships end once the child is involved. And like I said, I'm gonna try to find that clip where the lady made the comment that she made. But ultimately we have to keep up with the date nights, ladies. We
Mhm.
not even just ladies, but fellas too. We can't let ourselves go. The sweatpants don't need to be worn 6 days out the week. We have to still cook, clean. Everything that was being done before the child got here needs to continue to be done, because the child is a product of our love. So why would we let our love die to just focus on the child?
And I think it's real, that love is really important, especially for women postpartum, and men don't realize how much they play a part in like postpartum depression or postpartum rage, because having that support there makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Like somebody tell you they love you, you're beautiful, helping you through those stages. Understanding when you're too tired to cook, let me go out and get some, that type of thing. So um it, like you said, the love still needs to be there, but it might just look a little different. You have to adjust because now it's a child there. So your partner's too tired to cook like they normally do, or too tired to have sex, whatever the case is. So you have to be understanding. There's a certain point where you understand it, and then there's a certain point where you have to have a conversation like, okay, it's been like 3 months, so what's going on? um I know
that
you quiet.
we're gonna have that conversation at another time too, because listen, like I said, it's so much content on social media right now that ladies, we really need to be having these conversations. I just seen a video where a lady was like, never use sex as a weapon when it comes to your relationship. Don't keep sex from your man listen, it's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother episode. But we're gonna have that. We're gonna talk about that as well. But yeah, like I just feel like a lot of times, basically in a nutshell, we can't neglect our first love for the child,
Yeah, yeah.
because then that's where that misunderstanding, that disconnection is gonna come from.
And
There.
when you learn to love each other and the child sees that, and is a product like from, speaking from my experience, people always say, oh, your baby is so happy, she's always laughing, she's always smiling, because we went through couples counseling before, while I was pregnant, to
Mhm.
determine whether or not we wanted to stay, in a relationship or co-parent, what would be healthier for our child, because we loved each other. We worked on whatever the issues were, ended up working out. So were we so happy, we don't have any issues, whatever the case is, but we not married. But we have a child that we had to think about. So we had to be mature, see, what the best option was. And now people always say, oh, she's so happy, she laughing and she playing, and she's a product of our love and seeing us love each other and seeing us do that. So even so that she's 7 months, she sees that. She imitates that. She sees us playing and laughing or spending time together or whatever. There's no tension between us that she's feeling. So it's important. Those relationships are super important. Even if you're not in a relationship, like the co-parenting relationship with your significant other needs to be cordial at the very least, so the kids can see that it's healthy.
It definitely took a lot of growing up on my part to get to a point where I can have a conversation with the fathers of my children and not raise my voice, talk to them in a negative tone, talk, call them out their name. It took a lot of growing up. And I feel like a part of that growing up is accepting the fact that we are not together anymore. You have moved on. I have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. And I feel like once you get to a point where you're at that level of understanding, you're at that level of acceptance, co-parenting will come so much easier. And then you do have to take into consideration that I may grow to be able to healthy co-parent, but you're not at that point.
Exactly.
And I have a situation where my son's father, it was always an issue when he called my phone. He used to always talk shit, call me out my name, you bitch this, bitch that. And I'm just like, what are you so upset for? What's the problem? I'm ready to healthy co-parent with you. I don't have no issue with you, who you choose to be with, none of that. What is your problem? You have moved on, had other children. What exactly is your problem? Why is it that I just put, like, every time you look at me, you just see red? I never understood that. And I had to just tell him, listen, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about him. Whatever issues you have with me, let's put them to the side. Let's focus on him. I need you to understand that you and I created him. You and I's responsibility as parents is to make sure he's situated.
The number one priority.
Listen, we moved on. We ain't together no more. This is who we in a relationship with now.
Exactly.
So I'm not talking shit about you in front of my son. I don't need you talking shit about me in front of my son. And that's it. That's all. Like I said, a lot of times co-parenting relationships don't work because somebody somewhere still has some feelings that they haven't resolved yet.
Exactly.
And that's usually what the situation is. Once again, fellas, if you are in dealing with a childish, petty, resentless baby mama, or ladies, your baby dad, these baby daddies can be
now listen, I can understand. So I've had my moments to where I wanted to become that bitter baby mama, because they make you sometimes they make you sometimes
please do not do that.
So I understand, because it's like, what? And then, okay, so let me tell you my perspective on this. So we've been in a relationship for a little while, probably almost 5 years now. So casually dated, then into a relationship, just kind of like off and on, moved in together, had a baby, whatever. So when it comes to certain stuff, I'm like, this is what we just like. I'm upfront when I'm dating somebody. I've always been like, marriage is my priority. Eventually in a relationship, if it don't work out, it just don't work out that way. Whatever comes out of it comes out of it. So, but there have been times when we have prior to us going to counseling, where we're talking about kids, and it's like, I might not want to get married or whatever the case is. And I'm like, time out, because I told you this 4 years ago. So now it's a baby involved and it's all this other stuff. Now I feel like you're playing with my feelings. You wasting my time. So I understand why people take that personally and become those bitter baby mamas, because I have had moments where I'm like, I could be the bitter baby mama. I could definitely be the bitter baby mama. But it takes so much time and energy to do that. It takes away time and energy from your child. Like, you focusing, you stalking social media, you calling his phone, you doing pop-ups, you to make his life a living hell. You're going out of your way to do that. So it takes a lot of unnecessary energy. And if you have that energy out there, ladies, more power to you. I just don't have it in me. It worked out. Well, it's working out right now for us. I'll keep y'all updated. But if it ever comes to that. But I understand the bitter baby mama situation. I see both parts. I can see both parts, because y'all do play with our feelings. Y'all drag us along, and that might be a whole nother thing for a whole nother episode, dragging us along 10, 15 years. Women stay with y'all, and then y'all don't want us, and now we crazy.
Or y'all using us, or y'all sleeping around on us, or you're lying on us, y'all cheating on us, y'all having kids outside of us. Y'all just doing everything to us. But This is not the Bash a Man podcast. This is the Coffee and Apple Juice podcast. And by the end
Exactly.
of my era, we will have came to some type of solution to where men and women can coexist without being bitter, being petty, no negative whatsoever. That is my goal. I'm trying my hardest not to bash men on my podcast because I just don't want to be her. I don't want to be that woman no more. Um,
I used to
but
be,
yeah.
but I'm getting better.
Listen, I used to be the fuck niggas get money. I used to be all of that. I don't want to be her no more. I want to be the reason why black men are choosing black women again. Listen, that's my goal, okay? I want to figure out exactly why our black men in so much competition with black women, and let's just end it. Let's listen, we need y'all just as much as y'all need us. So let's figure out what the problem is. Let's solve it. And let's go
Take
ahead
some
and
accountability on both parts, figure out our
listen.
issues.
Yes, all of that. All of that. So I want to go ahead and wrap this up. June, thank you so much for joining me. Podcasting comes natural to you, girl.
I like to talk. That's all.
Well, it definitely came. It sounds like it's coming natural to you. Thank you so much for making time for me.
Thank you
If
for
you
having me.
Oh, more than welcome. More than welcome. Once again, congratulations on the baby. I feel like y'all are pretty much headed in the right direction. Y'all are having the conversations that need to be had. You guys are doing a couples therapy. I love that. I feel like Black people in therapy, period, is something that we need to talk more about. But that's gonna be a whole nother conversation. Do you want to go ahead and like shout out your social media so people can follow you and see
So
that beautiful baby girl?
Instagram, yes. Instagram is just call me June underscore. I believe I don't know where my phone
I'll
is,
post
but
it. I'll post
okay,
it so they can so they'll see it. But yeah, anything else?
that's all. Cause I don't have Snap, Facebook. My mama
Yeah,
email.
I'm trying to get to that point where I can just be done with social media, but the podcaster in me has to keep up with what's going on social media so I have some content. So it's like it's really hard. I really like I can be in here and just not post nothing, but I just the
Mhm.
nosy woman in me wants to see what's going on. So but whatever the case may be, thank you so much for joining me. Next week, we are definitely gonna have a a wine opener, so that we can do a review on this wine. Also, that's something for you guys to look out for. I'm gonna start doing wine reviews or just drink reviews, period. Y'all know the coffee and apple juice theme is like beverage type theme. So I want to start incorporating drink reviews on my podcast as well as just some little things here and there. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not sure if I said this earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't talk to my homegirls like that. Me and my sisters, we didn't have the best relationship growing up. So I'm at a point in my life where I'm starting to realize that just having that quote unquote village of females that you can just kind of go back and forth with, that is needed. I used to be one of those girls who would say, I don't hang around a whole lot of females, but it's like the older I get, I'm starting to realize how I need to be around females. I have just adapted this whole masculine mentality, but I really feel like it's because I just didn't. I went on with the whole I don't hang around a whole lot of females. I don't have a lot of female friends. I am deading that. Okay. I want more females on my platform. I want to make more females the face of a lot of things that I have going on. I love Reggie. Y'all know I love the guys that come on my show, but I want more ladies on my show. So I'm gonna try to make it so that majority of my co-hosts, majority of my guests are gonna be females. Reggie would definitely be back. We can't do a podcast without Reggie, but I want more women. I want more ladies on my show. I desire more relationships with women. So that is something that I'm working on. Going forward, I'm going to try to have as many female guests and co-hosts as possible. So definitely look forward to seeing June again. I want to say thank you again for joining me. Y'all look forward to this episode. We're going to drop them every Wednesday. So stick around and look out for that. I'm trying to think if I have any other news or anything else to look out for. Y'all know I've been in these streets this summer, so I haven't been the best of giving y'all the episodes on a weekly basis like I should and like I supposed to, but I'm definitely working on that. But now that the summer is coming to the end, the kids is going back to school next week, so hopefully I can get y'all these episodes on a weekly basis like I supposed to. But until then, I already know my rules, my motto. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. We are on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart Music, all podcast platforms. You can definitely find us. And until next time, peace. What's up, you guys? It's Aisha Hadiya. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Coffee and Apple Juice podcast. Make sure that you're right here with me every Wednesday where I'll give you new episodes where we're discussing any and everything involving the culture. Also, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.